Luffy versus Kizaru is a fight that we have been waiting for such a long time. One is considered the man who defeated Kaido, a new Yonko of the sea who is trying to prove that he belongs in that upper echelon of pirates. The other person is an admiral, someone who we've seen glimpses of their strength, but we really don't know how strong he truly is. And because of how he's been portrayed, some individuals don't believe Kizaru is that strong. A few years ago, I could never have imagined that we'd be getting this fight, and we now are. Because Luffy has trained for moments like these to not need to run against any top tier characters or any admirals anymore. He is now going to challenge these individuals and try and win. Admirals or Yonkos, who needs this win more? I wanted to talk about that in today's video. But if you guys enjoy regular anime content, make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. With that away, my name is Potential Unleashed, and let's see which of these two individuals between Luffy and Kizaru needs this win at Egghead Island more. There are some interesting things that are at stake for the individuals involved in this fight. The biggest thing for Luffy, if he loses, nobody left will be strong enough to defeat Kizaru. Granted, he will be weakened because a fight between top tier individuals is going to be an extreme diff fight. But right now, Zoro, he's fighting against Lucci. I know Sanji is strong, but there's also Saint Garcia Saturn and other Marine Vice Admirals that haven't even started fighting for real yet. Plus, Luffy is also fighting a slightly defensive battle as he is trying to protect Vegapunk and make sure that he gets off of Egghead Island, because we know how he's a brilliant individual and he has a lot of information. So Luffy has to defeat Kizaru in order to escape and prevent Vegapunk from being killed. On the flip side, Kizaru, his orders are to kill Vegapunk because he knows about the Void Sentry. If he escapes, who knows who he'll tell? That would put the world government in a pretty tricky situation. Kizaru, he is trying to obtain York, the Punk records, and the power plant that allows for the recreation of the Mother Flame. So both these individuals can only go out so much in order to preserve what they are trying to obtain and fight for. I want to talk a little bit about how the fight has shaken up so far. It's only been a few chapters from 1091 to 1093, and as I'm recording this video, they probably will have more interactions in future chapters. Luffy went from attacking Kizaru in base, then he went to Snake Man, and then Gear 5. And for those that are expecting this to be a long fight, it is not. They are trying to prioritize escaping. And the difference between Kizaru and Kaido is Kaido, he wanted to enjoy the fight. He wanted to fight somebody who could push him to the limit, who could give him the death that he wanted to experience. And Kizaru, his goal, he's trying to just do the bare minimum and kill Vegapunk and just get out of there. The biggest thing that stood out to me during this fight is Kizaru's speed. I know you guys are probably gonna be like, well, yeah, he has to Pika Pika no Mi, of course he's gonna be fast. I know that, but we never experienced this level of speed with a top tier character. The thing I do not like about One Piece sometimes, and particularly the manga, sometimes it's hard to tell when characters are using haki or not, and it makes it even harder when somebody is using advanced versions as well. But I will say it does appear that Kizaru is able to keep up with Luffy in his Gear 4 Snake Man without using Future Sight. We consider Snake Man to be the fastest gear, and some people might make the argument for Gear 5th. I'm not a power scaler, so I'm not going to do that, but from what I've seen, Snake Man is probably Luffy's fastest gear, and it required Kaido and Katakuri to use Future Sight in order to keep up with it. Like I said, I'm not sure if Luffy and Kizaru are using Future Sight in this instance. I do want to put that caveat there, but it does appear to me that Kizaru is able to keep up with Snake Man just because he is that fast. I could be wrong, but from what I've seen, I don't think I am. Kizaru, he was able to move faster than Luffy in Snake Man, send an attack at him, kick him, and send him flying. Then Luffy, he came back in Gear 5th and grabbed him ready for round 2. In Gear 5th, Luffy, he didn't actually overpower Kizaru as much as people thought he would, and I'm all here for it. I don't want Gear 5th to be some power up where Luffy is just too OP and the characters that he goes against can't keep up. So I'm happy that it doesn't appear to be the case. And during the interaction with Gear 5th, he sent Kizaru flying, but Kizaru, he was able to recover, and he made some copies of himself, kind of hologram like clones, with his Pika Pika no Mi, and in order to distract Luffy, he did that to get to the Straw Hats and search for Vegapunk. The last attack that we saw in the chapter was a laser that hit Luffy, and he said it was really hot. Like I mentioned earlier, this isn't your typical 1v1 fight, as both people are trying to prioritize their objectives and complete them quickly as possible. It's been a interesting back and forth, but if I had to say which one of these two that I personally believe has the advantage, I'd say I'm going to give it to Kizaru, just very slightly. The reason why this battle is so important is because of titles. If Luffy wins, the community is going to hype up the Yonko, call the Admirals frauds. We know how that story ends. There's going to be so many different agendas that's being pushed, and if he loses, it's going to be something like, oh, Admiral fans are going to have that in their back pockets, using it as fuel in order to say that the Admirals are equal to the Yonko. This is important to Luffy because he is a new Yonko. He replaced Kaido, the king of the beast, the man who was considered to be the world's strongest creature. So he has to prove why he was chosen as the one to replace him. What better test is there to prove why you were chosen as a Yonko than go toe-to-toe and defeat an Admiral? Him losing, it would not look good for him and the other Yonko as well, because when you looked at them, they handled their business. Shanks, he was able to defeat Kid, Blackbeard was able to defeat Law, and I know that those two individuals are weaker than Kizaru, but still, they handled their business. Do I think that other Yonko like Shanks, like Blackbeard, could they beat Kizaru? Absolutely. I don't think it would be easy, but I am putting my money on those two. And so if they can do it, then how does somebody who also has the title of an emperor, if he is unable to defeat Kizaru, should he still have that title? But at the same time, Oda likes to portray Luffy along with Kid and Law, and so since they were defeated, will Oda possibly make it to where Kizaru defeats Luffy? It is possible. On the flip side, this is important because of the Marines' portrayal. They have failed to capture these Straw Hats multiple times, and I'd say the biggest blunder is probably Marineford and Ennis Lobby, with CP9 being there, and they had the Buster Call. They still could not capture the Straw Hats, and now that they're on Egghead, they have an Admiral, they have Saint Garcia Saturn, they have different Vice Admirals in a siege that is bigger than a Buster Call. The Admirals, they already get clowned by the community. People don't respect their strength and think they are weaker than Yonko, which I think is a valid argument. They've constantly been shown in a bad light. Commanders taking them on. Look at Ben Beckman when he pulled out the gun. Kizaru, he froze for a second. They've ran away or retreated, stood down, and based off of the situation, some of the times was because of different civilians that were in the way, or it just didn't make logical sense for them to continue fighting, but still they retreated. So Kizaru needs to showcase the strength that he can defeat a Yonko, and then when he does this, the other Admirals will get more credit and the community will realize their true strength. So who needs this win more? I think it depends. If you consider Luffy a Yonko who is strong enough to fight against other top tiers, specifically in this case Admirals, then you would probably say that Kizaru needs to win this fight. If you're high on the Admirals and you don't think that they need to prove themselves, then you're not confident in Luffy's strength as a Yonko, then you probably say that Luffy needs this win more. I'm confident in the Admirals, and I believe that people don't give them the credit that they deserve. So personally, I think that Luffy needs this win more. But let me know how you guys feel about who needs this win more. Is it Luffy or Kizaru? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. It's on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.